Hi again, and welcome back to Responding to Art. Now that we've wrapped up the compositional tools, it's time to focus on a game-changing technique for any artist: simplification. As Hans Hofmann, the abstract expressionist, once said, the ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. So why does simplification matter? Well, many artists try to include too much detail in their work, which can overwhelm the viewer. Simplification is most effective when combined with targeted complexity, a strategy that lets you highlight your focal point without including confusing or distracting details. The goal is always to guide the viewer's eye back to your focal point consistently, and simplification is a powerful tool to help with that. I've identified 6 guidelines for simplifying your compositions, and they are cropping, ruthlessness, larger brushes, limited palette, limited value range, and squinting. So number 1 is cropping. One of the most effective ways to simplify a composition. Cropping lets you choose exactly what you want the viewer to see and feel without those unnecessary distractions. There are many cropping methods, but my personal favorite is the classic student tool: 2 pieces of L-shaped cardboard. They work like magic. However, cropping a photograph on your computer is also a great technique and one I use in my own work all the time. Cropping helps eliminate all those unnecessary bits and will improve the overall composition if done well. This is where trusting your intuition can come in handy. As you crop, keep noticing if the composition feels balanced to you. Then ask yourself, how does my eye move around the image? Where does it land? Is there a focal point? And here's a good trick. Cropping the elements slightly off the canvas edge will add variety to your negative space and make your composition more engaging. A common mistake I see in beginner paintings is centering the subject perfectly in the middle. This not only produces an overwhelming negative space, but it almost always makes for a static, uninteresting composition. Number 2 is ruthlessness. Even the most beautiful subject can become overwhelming if you don't edit it carefully. Take this painting by a group of 7 artists, Franklin Carmichael. He simplified the view, removing extra detail while keeping the composition striking. Notice also how he used a triangular armature, as we discussed in episode 5, to strengthen the overall design. Number 3 is larger brushes. So using larger brushes simplifies a painting by reducing detail. The artist is forced to let go of perfection and focus more on the bolder shapes, which leads to a looser style and a more simplified result. Painting with a limited palette can also help simplify a painting by reducing the overall complexity of the piece, improving the color harmony, and shifting the artist's focus to other essential art elements such as the composition and value range. Similar to using a limited palette, limiting your value range, that difference between your darkest dark and lightest light, is another great simplification tool. Most effective artworks contain a lightest light, a darkest dark, and a variety of tones in between. But by consciously limiting those in-between tones, you can simplify your composition without flattening it. One way to see your tonal range more clearly is to convert your reference to black and white. This is easily done on a computer or camera. But if your image is full color and you're painting from life, here's a simple trick which works just as well. Squint. Yep, squinting. It's one of my favorite simplification techniques. It actually helps you see the value scale of your subject and instantly reduces complex shapes into simple tonal areas. Try it while painting or even while looking at a scene. It's a game changer for simplifying your compositions. And that wraps up simplification, a key skill in creating strong and compelling compositions. Employing the techniques of simplification, cropping, ruthless editing, brush size, limited palette and value range, and squinting will give you control over your compositions and help highlight that all-important focal point. In our next episode, we'll dive into tangents. One of my absolute favorites and at times funny topics. You don't want to miss that one. It's all about how ineffectively placed elements can sneakily ruin a composition. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.